Hi, my name's Jen. Welcome to my channel, All of My Plants. I got the plants in and out of the greenhouse. It's kind of unfortunate. I didn't actually get to finish this room first. Like the trim, I have a couple pieces of paneling. The ceiling needed some spackle. The drywall is up there, but it's unfinished. And the reason that I was in such a rush to get them in here, it's getting cooler outside at night. And also, normally I'd bring them in and kind of spread them out wherever, you know, just wherever they fit. But they got jammed in here right away because some of them have thrips or had thrips. I haven't seen any more, but you know how thrips are. If you've ever had thrips, you know how thrips are. And one had aphids. It's a night blooming orchid cactus. That sounds right. Here's a picture of it in bloom. But anyway, that had aphids on the buds. I haven't seen any more aphids. I haven't seen any more thrips. What I did was I sprayed everybody with alcohol, and I mean saturated. Poles, pots, leaves both sides, stems, petioles, and the surface of the soil. So everything. I went through a lot of alcohol. I can only imagine what the cashier at the store thought, because I just had like an armload. I was hugging this, like 8 bottles of this. And also on my way to the register, I saw a cup that was on sale. It was a Halloween cup. It was half off. So it probably looked really strange. Don't drink isopropyl alcohol. But anyway, I can only imagine what she was thinking. But yeah, I haven't seen any more thrips or anything. It doesn't mean that they're gone. I was seeing adult thrips and larvae on some of the plants, not all of them, but probably about 30, which is still a lot of thrips. That's a lot of plants with thrips to try to treat. So that's been interesting. I used systemic after that because I don't want to fight them all winter. That does mean that I may have to fight spider mites all winter, but let's be honest, I was probably going to be fighting those anyway. So I'm okay with that. I'm going to do a little bit of repotting because I got this, it's the Burley Marks Flame that's come out, Monstera Burley Marks Flame, that's come out at Lowe's and Home Depot. It's Costa Farms. So it was $19.98. And this plant, I want to say 6 years ago, I saw it and I was like, wow, that's a really cool plant. And I never saw like the mature form of it. I only saw, you know, this very immature form, no fenestrations. I went, love that. I don't like the plant as much mature. I mean, I don't hate it, but the more fenestrations it gets, actually the less attractive I find it. But anyway, it was on my wish list years ago. And then somewhere I saw the price and I went, no, because I think the price I saw on it was about $1,500. And that's way beyond my budget. And then I most recently saw this plant for sale last November, so about a year ago, not quite, but almost, in North Carolina. It was little bitty tissue culture babies, and they still had a pretty hefty price tag in the triple digits, low triple digits. I think it might have been $150, $200, something like that for a tiny, tiny plant. And I was like, nah, I'm going to pass. But then I just saw this, I don't know, it's been here a few days, I guess. Hasn't managed to pick up thrips, so that's good. And I picked it up because, you know, 20 bucks for more than a tiny, tiny, tiny plant, I'll do that. But anyway, I don't like the soil it's in. It actually, I've seen worse soil, like from Costa Farms. Can you see in the pot there? It looks like it might be kind of airy. It seems very compacted, but I see like bark. I don't know, I guess that's what that is. But anyway, I'm still going to repot it. And where did I put the pots? I don't know where anything is in here yet. There we go. There's not much sense of organization in here. I'm going to point you down so you can see, because I was just in such a rush to get everything in here. So pardon my magnifiers. I had to go buy magnifiers because while I was outside in the greenhouse pulling plants down off the shelves and stuff, I could see, you know, thrips or whatever was on them, no problem. But in here in lower light, I was struggling. So my husband took me to get a pair of magnifiers. And if you struggle to see it all, they're worth it. They're worth the $8 or whatever I paid for them. Oh, I forgot my bucket for old soil. I don't know that anything's wrong with it, but I just want to see the roots. And I guess I'm going to put it on a moss pole. We're going to go ahead and let it mature. If I really don't like it, I can cut it, right? And grow it small again. Soil bucket acquired. These flops are killing my ankles. Slides, whatever. Okay. I gotta share my blanket here with the cat. She's behind me asleep. It's actually later than I usually film, because I was running around all day like a crazy person, checking the preview to make sure you can see. Running around helping my husband. Oh, I see some roots at the bottom. I guess that's good. It hasn't hated growing in here, apparently. I don't know if you can see anything there, but little tiny ones through the holes. And I don't see anything that looks like evidence of root mealies. I'm always worried about root mealies anymore. I don't need that because I'm pretty sure we're not going to forget what this is called. That's not going to be composted though, is it? It's not going to compost well, Jennifer. Okay. A little bit of root rot. This is actually much denser than it looks on the top. Globby even. Ugh. Oh, I don't love that. Most of the roots seem to look pretty good though. So yay for that. I think they'll enjoy this more. It's still pretty chunky. There's some soil or whatever you would call it in there. It's the Fox Farm with mycorrhizae and earthworm castings, orchid bark, perlite, little charcoal. I think there's some leca in there, some stray leca. I don't know what all, but I think it'll enjoy that. So it didn't take me too long to get these plants in here. A lot of them are bigger, so, and my husband helped me. A lot of them are bigger. Normally I was taking a bunch, like, 300 little bitty plants outside. I didn't do that this year. Not to say that I didn't take any small plants out there, but the majority of them were larger plants, which meant that I only had to bring in, 60 plants that are in a 6-inch pot or larger. Quite a few were larger. I think the biggest ones are in 8, 10, and 12-inch pots. I don't think there's any, well, no, there is one that's larger than 12. Maybe 2, because this one behind me, I don't know if you can see it. It's down there. It's a green pot. Maybe. Back there by the bookshelf. That's probably, I'm going to say a 20-inch pot. And I have another one that's also in maybe a 20-inch. 18 to 20, I'm going to say. But those are the two largest. Everything else is closer to 12. 6 to 12. So, yeah. But anyway, point being, a lot faster to bring in a handful of those, a few dozen of those, than a whole bunch of 6-inch plants. I'm really questioning if I want to put plants out. Every year I kind of go through wanting to change the greenhouse, and at this point I just don't know if I want to keep doing that. I'm to the point where if I want to put plants in the greenhouse, I want to put them out there and leave them out there. I want it heated, but it costs money, and I don't have a lot of that. So, I mean, you'll know if I hit the lottery, let's put it that way, but until then, yeah, they really don't look bad. I probably won't be heating it out there just because that's expensive. So I don't know if I'm going to continue to drag them back and forth every year, inside, outside, inside, outside. It's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, don't get me wrong, the plants definitely enjoy summer vacation, escaping my hovering. but I don't enjoy the extra work. Just putting the bucket out of the way. Shoo, okay, I guess it'll fit with the pole. It's an old pole. I can't remember who was living on there, but I don't see any dead roots in there, so whatever it was, I guess it didn't live on there for terribly long. It's semi-wet. I rehydrated it in the shower. It's been sitting, being stored for a while in here. I'm definitely making a mess in here today. Glad I put in new flooring so I can get dirt all over it. Alright. Well, let's see if we can fit this in here with this pole. Yeah, it'll go no problem. Easy peasy. Trying to see where about I want it to sit. I'm gonna say there's pretty good. I've got some plant Velcro over there somewhere on one of these shelves. I did get the shelves put in here, sort of. I only got one coat of paint on them, or it's not even paint; it's dry lock. Because they're wood. I just bought 1 inch wide, like thick, 12-inch wide, I guess technically, and then 6 foot long boards. That way I didn't have to cut them. 2 of them and put them up here. And the lights that are mounted underneath, they're actually shop lights. They're like 5,000 lumen. Which doesn't mean anything for your plants. They don't care how many lumens a light is. 5,500 Kelvin, I guess, is the color temperature. I don't know. And then that meant nothing to me either when it comes to plants. So I got my light meter somewhere in here, and I was checking to see what that says in foot candles, and it's much, much higher than I was expecting. Like, I have some other shop lights that I picked up for maybe $10 or $15, which those were 15. They're 4 foot long, and they are, I want to say, about 1,500 to 2,000 foot candles. I was like, I'm frying these plants. No, it's not too bad. I've just stuck an anthurium under there. It's the one that never, ever, in the entire 2 years that I've had it, maybe 3 now, has ever put out a even remotely nice leaf for me. It's Clarinervium, Pterodactyl, and Magnificum. That's the cross. And yeah, it no grow well for me, but it hasn't burnt that yet. It's only been under there maybe 24 hours. Well, the lights aren't on 24 hours, but it's been sitting on that shelf for about 24 hours now. So far so good. And I've got a Hoya under it that's, well, 2. Yeah, 2 Hoyas, 3 Hoyas under those lights. They're quite happy. Numelarioides, which has about 30 some odd flowers on it right now. It's not my favorite as far as the way it smells. And then also I have Pentaphlebia, Hoya Pentaphlebia under it, which I think they're calling that something else now. I can't remember. But yeah, so they're doing all right under it. Nobody is scorched yet. I have to keep an eye on it. Foot candles or lugs? I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was foot candles. I'll put it on the screen if I'm wrong. Making sure I didn't have any huge air pockets. I mean, I don't mind some, but like massive ones aren't ideal. Alright. And that might actually stay on there without plant tape. It's got a little aerial root that I just kind of poked in there, and I guess as it's settled with the soil, it's like holding itself there just fine. So that's mighty convenient. I'm going to try to show you if it'll focus. Maybe you can see. Which way do I turn it? But yeah, so it seems like it might hold itself on there. I'm not going to Velcro it if I don't need to. Just let it grow. Let it grow. It was in the cabinet there. I don't think it's going to fit there now. Actually, it might, because those Costa Farms pots, it's not any taller or any shorter, really. Maybe a little. Can you see? Get it back here where you can see it. But yeah, I think it'll still fit. I don't know. The leaves were already pretty close to the light. But they weren't burning. Nah, I'm going to stick it under here, I guess. Like back over here against the wall. I guess we'll do that. Hi, kitty. But for now, I'm going to set it aside for some water. Some water. I didn't notice any major root rot, and that's why you didn't see me like trimming and pulling things off. I will if it's bad. If it's not so bad, I don't fret about it. Let me go find my little broom thing because I'm just making more mess now. Okay, I have somewhat tidied up. The cat's under here watching the, can you see her back here? Watching the monitor. She likes to see the monitor, I guess. So what else? I know I had something else I wanted to repot. Oh, it was a mystery anthurium I got not too long ago, which it's doing okay. It's put out a leaf, but spider mites or something got to it. Once again, I saw nothing on it. This was upstairs in my plant room. This one came from a different growth point. So it has 3 active growth points. That's the most recent one that spit out a leaf right here. It's cute. It's a little bitty guy, but it does have some pest damage. So weird. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to put any systemic or anything in it. I am just going to repot it, I think, into a clear pot, because all of my plants will end up in clear pots at some point. Do I go this size? Or do I go a size smaller? That one? Can you even see that? There we go. Further back still, Jennifer. So yeah, I can go this size. I think I'm going to go this size. Decisions, decisions. I only have one of the slightly smaller one, and I don't think that's big enough. I don't know, it hasn't been in here very long. But it's so dry, considering that I watered it yesterday. This cabinet's extremely hot, I will say that. That's part of the reason I don't use it in the summer. It's usually not set up. Very, very warm. Oh, we did have new root growth in there. Beautiful new white roots right here. Cool, cool, cool. It seems weird to disrupt it after I just repotted it, but looks like another growth point here. Was thinking about doing something at some point. Dang, it still is under there. This was a chunk of something, but what, I don't know. I bought it with no ID, basically, so. There's that other growth point I'm talking about there sticking up. I don't know if we're focusing, but it's there. Boop. So, do I lean it ever so slightly? No, I think it'll find its way. I'm going to plant it right back just like I had it, you know, as upright as I can get it. And it'll find its way or it won't. But yeah, it does have 3 already active growth points. I busted one off, like just pulled it off and repotted that and gave that to my youngest daughter. And now it's got another one. What is this? I mean, it was a pretty big chunk down here. of whatever it was. I really don't know. I mean, crystallinum, I believe even when they're pretty small, the lobes kiss. And at first that's what I had thought, is maybe it's some kind of crystallinum, but it has a wavy leaf. Like on one of the growth points anyway, it's very wavy. The veins are different, which I don't know. I don't know. I'm baffled. Let's just put it that way. There's no need for me to harp on about it forever, but yeah, baffled. Is that too big? No, I'm going to go with that. I think that's a wonderful size. I need this now. There we go. So yeah, that size seems reasonable. It is such a weird plant. I'm not sure what it is. I've got some of the newer anthurium, which I've shown a fair amount recently because I'm just excited about them. They're growing and doing things, which plants do, I know. Gosh, see that? See that? See all that dirt I threw on the floor? But some of them, a couple of them, from the newest order, no, the first order, have like some spots on the leaves. Not like pesty spots, but like, I feel like I might have over-fertilized them. And I can't remember if that's the batch of soil I mixed up and added even more worm castings to. And I fertilized with every watering, so I'm sure that wasn't helpful. That's why I kind of suspect that maybe it's some nutrient burn. It's not major, but it is on the older leaves. I haven't seen it on the newer growth, so I'm not fretting too much yet. But it's something I'm keeping an eye on. That looks, well, maybe a little bit more, because it will settle some when I water it. I need to repot the forgetii. I just repotted it less than a month ago. It's put out like the biggest leaf I've ever gotten on a forgetii. So that's what that one's looking like. You can see some of the roots through there. But I like the idea of being able to monitor it a little bit better than I was in that other pot. And I guess all 400 and some odd of these plants will eventually be in clear pots at the rate I'm going. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to set that one aside for watering. You can hang out over here with Mr. Burley Marks and get my sweeper again. My birds are hollering. It's time for them to go to bed, that's why. So not everything in the greenhouse had thrips. That's a wonderful thing. Normally I'd accuse the Monstera of being the one that would have thrips, but this one was out there and it has 0 pest damage. No evidence of any pests. It's incredible. Looks great. I'd never believe it. It was kind of in the thrips zone too. Like it was just, most of the plants that I found anything on were all kind of in the same quadrant of the greenhouse. So it's very strange that that one was not one. I found them on the philodendron UPI, this one here. Can you see that there? I don't know. Probably not, huh? Nope, we're off the screen. I've got a philodendron mottled dragon up here. They were on that. They were on the philodendron Florida Beauty. They were on the philodendron gloriosum. A lot of philodendrons they were on, mostly. Oh, they were on the Syngonium chiapense variegated that was out there. They were on the Epipremnum Cebu Blue back there. I can't even remember what all. And I mean a lot of them. Adults and like larvae. A lot of them. But yeah, very little damage on most of the plants. One that did have them, that did have some damage, was the anthurium, actually, clarinervium. And this is the anthurium in question. It also had spider mites. This leaf, I don't know. Since I've saturated it with alcohol, brought it in, and put systemics in it, it's just gone, no, I'm done. Is it going to come off easily? Yeah. So, thank you for your service. I got rid of the spider mites about a month ago, I think. And I never noticed them reoccurring anywhere. I didn't see any when I brought it in. But it definitely has some thrips, or had some thrips, and has some thrips damage. It flowered quite a bit. I just pulled 3 of the inflows off. This is the newest one, and it's just past being receptive. Like the stigmatic fluid has kind of crystallized at this point. This one here is pollinated. It's working on producing berries. It's been there for 3 or 4 months. I can't remember. But I did say in a different video that I noticed it kind of starting to look organized, if that makes sense. I'll try to zoom in on that and maybe it'll focus if I'm a lucky human being. But yeah, you can see it's like at all the little pores where pollen or stigmatic fluid would come from, they're swelling. So that, and it hasn't yellowed off. It's been months. I did not pollinate this plant. I would personally not use a clarinervium as a seed plant. And that's not to say that they're like bad seed parents, because they're not. They're a tough plant, and in my experience, very tough. They can handle all kinds of abuse. You can overwater them, underwater them. You can forget about them in a dark corner. You can put them in fairly high light, and they tolerate it pretty well. Not great, but pretty well. They just take so long to get to the point when it comes to seeds. I can't even remember how long, but like I said, we're 3 months in, and I'm assuming I'm going to have to wait probably another 6 months. I can't remember. I haven't cut it off because it's not offending me. This plant's tough enough to do it, but yeah, it's not my favorite. I mean, I love clarinervium. It's just, it takes so long. That's what I'm coming down to. Even with thrips, this plant really hasn't taken much of a hit. I'm surprised. Like, it did have a whole bunch more leaves. I think it had like 6 other leaves, but they all kind of look like this. Maybe actually more like this to be more accurate. They weren't yellow yet, but it's got quite a lot of stem down here, and it's just kind of leaning forward in the pot. I don't know if you can see. I am not gonna do anything with it. I might stick some moss around it, that way it'll be ready to chop if those seeds ever come to fruition, or if maybe the petiole breaks. Is it a petiole on on an inflow? I don't know. If that breaks, then I'll just go ahead and chop it and plop it down in a pot again. But yeah, I'm gonna put that on my to-do list. I don't have the moss down here, so yeah. I thought I was done repotting, but I was lying to myself. Please don't chew on that, ma'am. I don't think that's healthy. I've got Hoya lacanosa or Croniana silver. I cannot remember. And I don't know the difference between lacanosa and Croniana. I would say one normally has slimmer leaves, but I've gotten both. This just says Hoya assorted. That's helpful. I've gotten both types of leaves on the same plant. Like growing from the same vine of the same plant even. And then this is some sort of sedum, miniature sedum, however you say it, S-E-D-U-M. Miniature, that's what it says. Oh no, it also says linear, variegated. It's cute, it does well, but tiny pot, dry quick. And then this is the Calistophylla black cat that is covered in sulfur. Even though I didn't have any problems with this or see anything on it when I checked it, I'm just that person now. I'm that paranoid. I have enough pests. I don't want to encourage them. So I will be forever occasionally spraying plants with sulfur, Hoyas anyway. I don't really do that to succulents, but I don't know, do they get flat mites? I've had some succulents just randomly tank. It was Obesa. I don't know if that's, I don't know what that is, but it's some sort of Obesa. I want to say Euphorbia, but I'm not 100% sure what it is, if you want the truth. So, there's that. I need my dirt bucket. I'm already getting a pile of pots in this room too. What did I do with it? To be washed. Somewhere. Right there, under the leaf. This is the, can you see it back here? That's dark, huh? Philodendron Summer Glory. It also had thrips. But it's doing okay. It's in a little teeny pot though. It's a pretty big plant. I don't know if you can tell behind me. It's pretty good size. I need to repot it. But I just put, it's got decent enough roots. I just put systemic in it, so I don't really want to mess with it. Kind of just want to leave it be and let the systemics do their job, even if that does mean I have to water it every other day. Not literally, but pretty close. This is shooting up all kinds of little babies under the soil. I don't know if you can see. They're so tiny. Right there is a little cluster. If I can zoom in, I will. I'm going to put it in what seems to be a pretty big pot from what it came from. Plant tags. Yeah, this is a pretty good upsize. I think I'm going to put all of these in this size pot. Probably even the Hoya. I don't know. We'll see what the Calistophylla black cat. We'll see what the roots look like when we get there. I'm not going to worry about picking all of this soil off. It says it can withstand some drying. Well, the tag. It's been here a little while and it's doing alright. Small leaf variegated miniature garden self-branching, bright light to shade, can be moderately dry between waterings. Well, it's pretty well bone dry. That cabinet just dries stuff out like crazy. I think I could use a stir on this soil actually. I don't know if I did the greatest job mixing it because it was so full. And it used to have like a locking lid. I broke that. I think one clip out of 4 that locked the lid into place is left. So I can't really shake it. I have to stir it and hope for the best. And sometimes the best isn't very good. Oop, for mixing it. I need my little tabletop back. Sure, that looks fine. I don't want to bury all those, that's a big piece of bark, all those little new plantlets, pups, whatever they're called on this particular plant, that are trying to pop up. Don't want to bury them. I mean, I'm sure a little bit wouldn't hurt, but this is so pretty. That's why I picked it up. I think I picked it up intending to put it in the terrarium, but then I got attached to it, and it's been doing fine. I had it upstairs just kind of sitting for a while, and I was like, well, I wonder what'll happen if I put it in the cabinet, because it had a slightly pink tinge to it, like I guess sun stressing maybe. I don't know. But yeah, so I stuck it in the cabinet to see if, heat or higher light would bring that back. So far it hasn't, but it hasn't been in there very long. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. But like I say, maybe we can get it back. And maybe I won't have to water it so often now. I think if I did water it as often as I was now that it's in this particular mix, I would drown it. I don't know. I don't know much about sedum. I don't know. I think it grows like people plant it outdoors where I live, I think. And it's hardy. Not all kinds, but I've seen some kinds. So, what kinds I couldn't tell you. It's not helpful, is it? I'm trying to untangle it. It's holding onto itself. I kind of all want it to sort of face one way. There we go. That's cute. Just a cute little trailing plant. Alright. And I'm out of small saucers. I did water these guys when I actually turned the camera off not too long ago to cool down. I bought a new watering can. It's up on top of this cabinet. For whatever reason, I'm still using this ugly, filthy, old watering can. Old habits and all that, I guess. It's Old Faithful. And I'm not going to put it directly back under the light because I am getting some of these leaves wet and I don't want to burn them. I don't know if they'll burn, but just in case. Alright, I'm going to set that aside, let that drain / dry. And we're going to move right along. Hi, kitty. I guess we'll do this Hoya Galistophylla black cat. It's just, I mean, it's retaining water fine, like it's hydrating fine, but some of the soil is just like missing out of the pot. I don't know if you can see down in there. I see roots around the top even. I don't know if I did that or if it came like that. I'm not sure. There wasn't many roots in here. What is this? That's different. It's a piece of elastic or string or something. Elastic. Can you see it? That's bizarre. Okay. The roots that are here look okay. And this soil, it actually wasn't hydrating as well as I thought, 'cause some parts of it are wet while some parts are completely dry. There's, what, 2 cuttings here? Yeah, it looks like it. I'm going to leave them together as they are, though. I don't want to upset them by ripping their roots apart. To be washed pile. Or recycled, because at this point I have so many nursery pots, like no sane person needs that many. Do I put it in one of these? Yeah, I think it'll be alright. This is pretty chunky. But yeah, I'm going to have to start recycling them. I'm always saving them, like I'm not going to get 3,000 more. Nobody needs 800 3-inch pots or 4-inch pots, whatever they were. Don't chew on that. Where did that come from? You're cute. You're cute, Miss Ma'am. You distracted me. But you're cute. I love her. Anyway, nobody needs 9 million little teeny tiny pots. That's what I'm saying. I'm not buying quite as many plants as I used to. So I have less plants than I'm moving them up in sizes rather than propagating so much and things like that, which I do actually have some plants that I need to propagate, but that's for another video. A lot of these taller ones, like this one, you can't see it, can you? It's the mottle dragon, philodendron mottle dragon. It's about as tall as I am, and I'm just not going any taller than that with moss poles. So my philodendron atabapoense, it's off the top of its moss pole, and I think I'm going to propagate that whole plant back, which is kind of a bummer to me because I just got it to where it's sized up and the leaves are nice and big. Now they're sizing down, and I don't know. That plant also has very long petioles, and I don't love managing petioles, so I'm gonna chop it. And it's been a good 3 years that it's been growing, so it's one of my easiest philodendron, definitely. definitely, definitely. Doesn't ever give me any problems except for managing petioles. So I think it'll be fine. I think it'll grow back quickly. What else did I want to chop up? Oh, the philodendron bicolor, which is also over here to my right, behind the philodendron mottled dragon, or whatever they're calling it. Just because I wanted to, it's supported by a bamboo stake currently. That's how it came. And and I'm afraid it's going to just crawl around, and if I try to put it on a pole now, I'm afraid it wouldn't lay right on the pole. So why not just get a different cutting started on a pole? And I don't know, maybe I'll do some trades or something for the base of the plant, or the other 85 cuttings, whatever I end up with. It won't be that many, but whatever I end up with of some of these things. As long as I'm sure they don't have pests, because I'm not trying to give anybody my headache. So it'd be a while either way before I got to that point. I like to trade rooted plants, not unrooted cuttings. It's just my preference. That looks pretty good. I mean, it's a big pot for what little bit of root I had there, but it's going to dry so fast in there, I think it's going to be fine. I'm going to let it drain through and dry a little bit, and then chuck it back in there. And last one I'm going to do today, I believe, because I really wasn't planning on doing this many. I was actually planning on removing some leaves and stuff, but it's gotten late on me. I say it's gotten late. It's like 8:30. I'm an old lady. My plants are, or my birds are old birds. They're ready for bed by 9 o'clock. I don't even know what the roots look like. Maybe I should check that out. This one here isn't as dry. I think I just dumped water in it while it was sitting in the cover pot, because, you know, it was drying quick. Oh, it's got great roots. I'd say better roots than that Calistophylla did. I don't know if you can see them, but they're nice, bright white and shiny. I'm going to take some of this heavy mix off, though, and try not to take the roots off with it. It's very dense. There's no perlite or bark or anything in here. It's just straight peat is what it looks like. It's great for rooting plants, but I don't like growing plants in it long term. Just don't love it. I don't love it. This looks like 3 little cuttings. Yeah, 1, 2, and 3. Alright, I'm going to kind of face them the same direction again, because most of my plants do have a front at this point. I kind of like it when everything grows one way. It just makes my life easier. I know a lot of people like turn their plants and try to get them full and bushy all the way around, but for the purposes of putting them on a shelf or in a cabinet or hanging them on a wall, it's more convenient if they have a front. So, unless they're just hanging in a round hanging pot from somewhere, I guess. But even then, I still generally prefer them to face one side, because that's the side they're going to be lit on, whichever side they want to face. I don't know. I don't like turning my plants anymore. I used to drive myself nuts about trying to keep them full all the way around. No, no, no. That ship sailed. Can you imagine trying to turn like 500 plants to keep them full on all sides? Not only that, but it's also not practical for the plants I have on moss poles to turn them. I turn them towards the light and I leave them that way. Unless for some reason, like when I used to do tours and stuff, I would turn them around. But for the most part, they just face wherever the light's coming from. I think usually around this time of year I start doing some plant tours. I don't think I'm really going to do it like that this year. More, I think we're going to just walk through and do some updates. And we'll do updates by type, you know, these like Hoya updates. And then we'll come back later and do, you know, odds and ends plants updates. And then we'll do anthurium updates, philodendron updates, Monstera updates. Kind of like that rather than a full plant tour, because I think the last several times I've tried to do plant chores, Chores and Chores. I haven't been able to complete them because there's so many plants. So, like, I'll get through a handful of them, a couple hundred maybe, and then I'm lost. I can't even remember which ones I did and didn't do. Sorry, my preview over here is doing weird stuff. But I guess that's this guy good. I don't think this one needs any water. I'm gonna wait because it was pretty wet in the root area anyway. Yeah, pee-pees. So, yeah. But that's gonna do it for me. I am done plant choring for tonight before my birds riot. I'm not gonna water that one tonight, so yeah. But yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with what I managed to get done today. Not that it was a lot, but I did get some things that I've been looking at for a little while now going, maybe I should do something about that. I finally did something about that, so. And hopefully, I don't think any of the plants I worked on today have had pests. Or, you know, the ones that I've just now repotted. No pesty issues. So hopefully it stays that way, otherwise you'll be getting some systemic. Words are hard. I'm pretty happy with what I managed to get done, though. I wanted to remove some dead leaves and stuff like that. I think I said that already. I've got, not really dead leaves, but leaves that are not looking great. Like this, there's one over here that's just been dangling on this Summer Glory. Yeah, you can see that this one was thrippy. I'm looking to see if I see any thrips on it. I don't. I did before I brought it in here. But yeah, you can see it looks pretty terrible. Pretty gross. So it's not its fault. It's my fault because I just didn't notice. Well, I didn't notice. It's like a cloud of them just blew into the greenhouse and attacked everything or something. I don't know. But yeah, it got sprayed. It has other leaves that have some thrippy damage and stuff too, but the new leaf looks pretty good. I don't know. I'm just gonna have to keep monitoring them. I haven't noticed any more thrips, adults or larvae on anything. But yeah, thrips are thrips, and thrips be thrippin'. So, that's fun. Anyway, I think next video I am going to do some of that propagating that I was talking about. Maybe cut off those dead leaves also. Dead or damaged, the heavily damaged leaves. I've got a lot of leaves on my Dracaena back here that are browning at the tip. Just, you know, odds and ends. I don't know that I have any more that I'm going to repot in the immediate future, because a lot of the plants that were out there currently do have systemic in them, and I just don't really want to dig around in that, you know? Even with gloves, I'm just going to let the plants do what they do, let them get that into them for a while before I consider repotting those ones. Not all of them have systemic in them. Some of them have a white tag in them, meaning that I didn't put systemic in them. It's just a plain white tag I stuck in a handful of things that I, for whatever reason, didn't want to fight spider mites on all winter. I don't know. I'm probably going to fight spider mites on everything all winter anyway. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. I'm going to get out of here. And thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for watching. And come back and check me out again soon. Bye.